how's it going? My name is Nigeria Chambers of Big Gold Belt Media. Alon and Cleo, it's a pleasure to talk to you two today. Finally, because I checked this out back at South by Southwest last year, and it was one of my favorite films coming out of that festival. I know we're coming back up on South by Southwest season this year, so it's just kind of really weirdly timed, but it just works out. But what isn't a good coincidence is that I kind of assume here, if this film was released at South by Southwest 2022 last year, you all must have filmed 2021 or maybe 2020, height of the pandemic. And the fact that a lot of the context, the conversations within this film is completely relevant today, as if this came out and was done this week, it's a scary thing, but it's why I love this film, because it's the conversations that come from out of it, the raw emotions, amazing performances out of the two of you two. But I would just kind of love to hear your reactions with like the relevancy and the context of this film being so relevant right now today.
Yeah, that's the sad thing. I mean, and then so we finished the movie in 2021, but we started in 2020. Before George Floyd, before the world was eviscerated by all of those things that happened, right? So the source material for this, I mean, it's just it's historic how timely this is, and how timely it is now, man. Very unsettling, but thankfully we do have a place as artists and to tell a story that allows people to maybe heal, to maybe deal with it in ways that they otherwise wouldn't by seeing the film.
Yeah, to jump off what Alon said, yeah, we started shooting this in 2020. We shut down for COVID and we came back a year later. The relevancy was there in the beginning. It was there in the middle. It's there now. It wasn't a new thing when we started. It's certainly not a new thing now. And that's the tragedy of it. But like Alon said, I am grateful to have an outlet and to make art and reflect the times, whether they be good or bad.
Yeah. And I just definitely want to say thank you too for the amazing performances, but opening up the very important conversations that needs to be had. And I think that's what's really important with this film, and the narrative of this film is that everyone should have something to talk about after watching this. I would love to, in terms of the performances here, the chemistry, I feel like beyond being relatable by being a Black male in America, I felt the chemistry amongst you two that I felt in place within this household. How did you two work on that chemistry, especially in the weird time of the pandemic, to really invite the audience to be another person within this house with all the predicaments happening?
Well, we rehearsed for a good 2 weeks before we started shooting in 2020. And then we had a year to sit on it when we shut down, which actually was kind of the best thing, because there was so much to process and so much to talk about in the film. We all came back different. We all came back changed and a little deeper. And then also the cinematography does a good job of letting you in as well, I would say.
Definitely.
Absolutely. Alon?
I mean, what she said, like we had, it's interesting though, because you meet people that you like, but then as a character, I had to give Cleo, project onto Cleo reasons that I hated her.
That's right. He wouldn't talk to me.
I wouldn't talk to her. I mean,
I thought he didn't like me.
But I just wouldn't like. I didn't like that Cleo, as the actor, was talking to Brian as the cop. I didn't like none of this. So I was just like, I'm just gonna hold on to this and just use it as fuel. You know what I'm saying? But me and Cleo cool. But yeah, it's that's the game. I personally, everybody's different, but I had to sort of play that game, or just honor that sensitivity that I had. But yeah, I'm glad that I don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah. I think for my final question, I think it's probably one of the most important questions here. And again, for my Black brothers and sisters, this film I remember reviewing, and I had to get up and kind of walk around. And obviously, I had seen it at the festival, so it wasn't so many people I could talk to it about it. But I needed time to really metabolize and sort of decompress from all of the different events from within the film. I would love for you to, if you could talk about the moments where you had to, and what you had to do in terms of therapy or the decompression to step out of these characters, but also still step back into the reality that these characters are truly reflections of our brothers and sisters around the world.
Yeah, man, that's a tough one, man. When we were going back into the movie, I don't know how many days we had left when COVID stopped. I think maybe like 6-7 days. But I was on a retreat when I got the news that we were going back. So I was just so peaceful and zen, meditated, and just so when I got the call that we were going back, immediately my body, like I had the inflammation came back, like the sleepless nights came back, and you just realize how trauma is stored in the body. And then I was like, damn, there's people that don't get to do retreats and stuff like that the way I'm doing it. So we are all of these people walking around with this trauma response to the things that they witness in society, things that they've repressed. And then my compassion was like, that's why we need to do this, because I have to be a person that allows myself to experience this in order for other people to potentially heal or whatever it is that they get from the film, but for them to metabolize it in a way that our movie and artwork and that art allows us one to do, you know. But yeah, it stays in the body, man. So yeah.
It's so true. As actors, we do sacrifice a lot. You got to go to places that maybe aren't comfortable to tell these important stories and to honor our ancestors. And truthfully, as Black people, we hold it in our DNA, but we also hold the survivor trait. And I'm just so grateful to have films like this in which we can open up these discussions and we can have an outlet and we can play these nuanced characters, and hopefully people feel seen, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, folks, it's been a pleasure to talk to you all. And finally, the world gets a chance to check this out in theaters and video on demand February 3rd. Cleo and Alon, hopefully we get to talk again very soon.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Thank you so much. Take care.